put me on a plane to Cape Town. She said I could fly, she knew I could fly. I'm on to the motherland.
Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, and if you're new, hi, my name is Pashane and I'm a young essay YouTuber-ish. Please don't mind my background too much, and I'm so sorry in advance for looking in the viewfinder. If you like this video, please do subscribe if you are new, and please like and share. Let's get right into it. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my story time of how my gynae visit ended in emergency surgery. So your girl had been looking for a gynecologist that would take my that would accept my medical aid and not want me to pay upfront like 1,500 or 1,000 rand just for starting a file and not even like a proper checkup or whatever. So eventually I found one. It happens to be the same gynecologist that, well, he's a gynecologist and an obstetrician. So my mom found him and around August, and she made an appointment for me. So my appointment was for the 8th of August 2020. On the 7th of August, I felt extremely bloated. Like, I was at work and I just felt so bloated, but I didn't understand what was going on, and I thought it was my acid reflux like reacting. And so I was just like, okay, it's fine, it will clear, whatever. But it didn't help that at work we were having a Women's Day function, so we had food there that wasn't necessarily in my diet. And just because it was a special occasion and I'm not in prep for competition, I just decided that, okay, I will have whatever it is that they're having and I will enjoy myself as well. So I'm thinking everything is fine and dandy. The reason why I wanted to actually go and see a gynecologist was because I was looking into a new method of contraceptives. Because 2018 I just stopped using the oral contraceptive that I was using Zoli. So I stopped using Zoli and I wanted to get the intrauterine device called Gynae, because I tried a lot of methods. I had tried the Nexplanon implant, I had tried the injection, the 2-month one, the 3-month one, and then I was on the pills as well, and they were kind of aggravating my acid reflux, and I did gain a bit of weight from them. I decided that, listen, I'm just, I'm gonna wait, get a gynae, then I'll get the IUD. So fine, find the gynae, set up my appointment. The 8th of August comes, 2020, and my mom and I go to the gynecologist. Well, I basically went there and she met up with me there. I went for my appointment. I walk into the gynae's room and he sits me down and he's like to me, why are you here? So I had a few things that I was feeling that were strange for me. So before asking him for IUD, I just started explaining my symptoms to him. So as I started explaining my symptoms to him, he's like, nope, come, let's go into that room. Yeah, not the office, but the room with the bed and everything. So then he takes my weight and I'm quite light and whatever. So he asks me like, what kind of lifestyle do you live, blah blah blah, and I explained it to him as well. And then he is like, okay, let us take an ultrasound. And I'm like, okay, we're taking an ultrasound. I'm gonna see my uterus. But luckily it wasn't my first ultrasound, so it wasn't weird. I'd had my first ultrasound when I was in primary school, when I had menstrual period issues. We take the mighty ultrasound and he's like to me, oh my gosh. And I'm like, Um, so he shows me pictures. I'll insert the pictures here. He shows me pictures of my womb. So I look at the screen of the ultrasound and you can see like just masses, like clumps in my womb, both on the left and the right side. And then there's a weird shape. The other one looked like it had a third thing attached to it. And basically he was like to me, well, you have ovarian cysts and they are so huge that we have to go into surgery immediately.
Bear in mind, this is the 8th of August 2020. During a whole pandemic, going to a hospital means you need to get yourself tested. You need to get a COVID test first and then be able to get admitted. So it's Saturday, Monday is a public holiday because it's Women's Day, and Tuesday this man wants me to be at the hospital at 6 a.m. to go in for surgery.
My first reaction to it was like,
that sucks. It means when gyms open, I can't go back to the gym.
I'll have to be like resting or some stupid thing like that. Fine, I just took it as I took it, and at least my mom was there for like moral support. Same day, I rushed to the hospital to go and get my COVID test done. So when I get there, initially the people that actually do the COVID testing at the hospital are actually gone already. But then because I have to get because it's an emergency surgery, I had to get my COVID test done on that day. So we went into the hospital and then we went into the Lancet laboratories. So they don't generally just do COVID tests for people, but then my doctor told me to explain to them that and I had to get the test done because I had to be in surgery on Tuesday and I had to know my results before I could go to the hospital, because a whole lot of things have to happen if you have COVID and you have to go to the hospital and stuff like that, and they have to take a whole lot of precautions. The Lancet people were very fussy and they were kind of upset, and they were just like, we're gonna call our supervisor and ask if we can do the test because we're really not allowed to do the test. So I'm sitting there thinking that this test must be intricate, like since these people like just can't do it for me, even though I'm telling them that I actually need to go in for surgery on Tuesday and it is Saturday evening. So fine, eventually they get a hold of their supervisor or whoever that they wanted to speak to. They get a hold of her and we get the go ahead, and the one lady does the test for me. The experience of taking a COVID
test is disgusting. Like, it is the most irritable thing that could ever happen to you. Like, it's just irritating. Like, the thing just goes all the way up. But that was manageable, and
it was manageable and it was okay. So I was like, okay, chilled, fine, you know. So get my COVID test done, and then now it is time for me to prep for hospital. And I am just like, wow, I have to pack a hospital bag. I will be admitted and I'm going in for an op. And this was the second time in my life that I'd ever been admitted to hospital for an op. First time was when I was 8 and I had to get my appendix removed on the day. The 11th of August was the day of my op. And so on the 11th of August, I had to be at the hospital at 6 a.m. So I get to the hospital at 6 a.m. and then I can't get admitted because my medical aid hasn't approved the surgery yet, and since they haven't sent an approval, I can't get admitted and the doctor can't operate yet. My medical aid center place thing sorry for the lack of vocabulary, they only work from 8 a.m. so I was chin-chilling in the waiting room, and I fell asleep, and I had to go to the front and I fell asleep there as well. And around, I want to say 10 o'clock, that's when I got admitted. I was pretty calm, pretty chilled, and obviously because of COVID, you can't have anyone else there with you at the hospital. It's just you and you alone. I got admitted, and then they took me to my room. And as they're taking me to my room, they're taking me to the maternity ward, and I'm like, this is so weird. Like, I would have never pictured myself in a maternity ward to remove cysts. So fine, maternity ward, we go, and then I get admitted. So sort out everything, they take all my particulars, whatever. The nurse comes in and she's like holding this plastic thing that looks like a drip, and she's like, so we have to put in the catheter now. And I'm like, the what? It's like, we have to put in the catheter. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but yeah, that is the most painful thing ever. But basically, just so I wouldn't pee my pants, she had to stick it up, and that thing is the most painful thing ever. It was worse than the COVID test. Like, it was way worse than the COVID test. But little did I know that things were about to get juicier. I go into surgery, and now they're checking everything, putting in all these drips. I just remember them giving me this oxygen type thing, and telling me to breathe deep breaths. And they kept talking to me, and next thing I knew, I was out. Actually, not next thing I knew, I was out. Next thing I knew, I was being woken up and my bed was moving. And once I regained consciousness fully, I was trembling. And I was trembling in pain, but the nurse thought that I was cold, so she kept asking me, are you cold? And I was like, no,
I'm in pain, it hurts.
and I was literally bawling my eyes out, just saying how much it hurts the whole time. And then she told me that there was a self-administering pump that I could administer painkiller for myself every 7 minutes. So that was great, but it felt like it wasn't working because I was pressing, but I wasn't feeling it. And yeah, got to my ward, and I basically passed out for the whole day. And I probably got out of surgery around like 1 o'clock, and I passed out, and I only woke up the following morning. And the nurse said to me that she thought I was dead, and she kept coming to check in on me because I just didn't wake up and I was asleep. And then I found out that they'd given me morphine for pain because the incision, my scar is basically like a C-section scar, basically, just a little bit above where they would do C-section. I'm not sure actually. I'm not like 100,000% sure, but it looks like it's like a C-section incision basically. It's like this big, if I'm not mistaken. It was very painful to say the least. It was a very painful experience. I wanted to bring this to you guys so that I could hopefully help people who are struggling with cysts or have had a cyst, or people that don't know about ovarian cysts and that they exist. Because like for me, I knew about it, and I know a lot about all these womanly things and possible things that could happen. And going into the surgery, my biggest concern was if the cyst was cancerous. Post-op, when I went for my checkup and I was in pain, to go find out what type of cyst I had. And it happened that the cysts that I had were mature cystic teratomas. They're not so common type of cyst. I was cancer free, but I had these mature cystic teratomas, and I was like,
The fuck? What the fuck do I have? Did I have 2 cystic teratomas?
I get an ultrasound again, and then my doctor finds out, my gynae finds out that the one cyst that was on my right side, it left an imprint, and it was kind of like growing back from the imprint that it left. growing from that imprint that is left in my uterus. Could use antibiotics to treat that, so I was like, sure thing. So I got on my antibiotics, and that was that, and the cyst cleared. I would like to preface that I am by no means and in no capacity am I a gynecologist or an obstetrician. This is basically based on my research and my personal experience with my cysts, with my ovarian cysts, and everything that I say you can go and Google for yourself and check out for yourself. But this is how it was for me, and this is the information that I got. A cyst is a fluid-filled sac in an ovary or the surface of your ovary. And how it's formed is that basically your menstrual cycle forms the cyst. Your ovaries, these follicles form, and they have the hormones progesterone and estrogen, and they help release the egg. But then sometimes these follicles don't go away, and they just keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they basically grow into a cyst, and that is called a functional cyst. And usually those types of cysts can be flushed out basically by your next period. They can be treated via medication. You don't necessarily have to go in for surgery unless it ruptures or something like that happens, but like it's highly unlikely. So basically what makes you eligible to get a cyst is just being a woman and having all your reproductive organs intact makes you susceptible to getting a cyst. But it's not every woman that gets an ovarian cyst, but most women will have at least one ovarian cyst their lifetime basically. I was one of those women. The symptoms of an ovarian cyst are pelvic pain, fullness or heaviness in your abdomen, and bloating. So basically what is recommended is that you go for a regular pelvic exam because there's no prevention for cysts. But anyway, I did not experience these symptoms. Again, my cysts are not functional cysts, they're not the common cysts, so I didn't experience what people normally experience when they have ovarian cysts. I didn't experience pain, I didn't experience anything, but then I had a few symptoms that I overlooked and I didn't pay much attention to. I would get cramps every time I did ab exercises, and I would get this strong cramp on my right side that would last for like a minute and then it would go away. So my initial response to that was stop doing lower ab exercises, obviously. So I did that and that worked for me because I thought, yeah, I'm cool. The other symptom is heartbeat like rhythm that I would feel on the right side of my pelvis every time when I was on my period, and it was the weirdest thing ever. It literally felt like a heartbeat. That was because my one other cyst was on a pulmonary vein, so that's why it was beating like that, because you know when you're on your period a whole lot of shit happens to your uterus and everything. The other thing that I experienced, which I thought it was my pelvic muscles just being strong, but my pelvic area was basically rock hard, and I just thought that because I had been doing abs and I had competed last year in December, I just thought that my ab muscles are growing, and you know, I was fine with it. I was like, okay, I have a strong pelvis, there's nothing wrong with having a strong pelvis, so I'm good. The other thing that I experienced was frequent thrush, bacterial vaginosis, and infections of that nature. So basically when I went for my pap smear this year, I found out that I had bacterial vaginosis. However, even though I had bacterial vaginosis, I didn't really have any symptoms. So my doctor just prescribed the gel for me and gave me some tablets to drink and whatever. Struggled with thrush before in my life, so it was nothing new, and I struggled with just having a sensitive area down there. So I was just like, okay, I just took it as it's whatever. more towards the time that I actually went for my first gynae appointment. During intercourse, my partner and I could feel that there was something there that he was like pushing past to get through, and I also felt it, and he just felt like it was just dense basically inside. Those were my symptoms. Unfortunately, the types of cysts that I have are mature cystic teratomas. So you can get immature and mature cystic teratomas. These are basically ovarian neoplasms which contain elements from multiple germ cells, from germ cell layers, and are slow growing. So basically in a year they grow between 1 to 2 millimeters. But the funny thing was that mine were already 7 by 6 centimeters by the time I found them. So I don't know if I've had them since I was in my 20s or if it just grew overnight. Normally, mature cystic teratomas only occur in women that are either above the age of 30 or below the age of 20, like in their teenage years. So that was a shock to me because I'm 25, so I'm like, why do I have cystic teratomas if I'm 25, and why are they so big already? And like, you know, I had a lot of questions, but I basically read more about it. I was probably more susceptible to me having another cyst. And the thing is with cysts, whatever cyst you get, whatever type of cyst you get first, that's the type of cyst you'll get continually if the cyst returns. Basically now, 4 months later, again, during my time of intimacy with my partner, he felt similar thing to what he felt the first time I had my cysts, and the same thing was happening pretty much. I was getting a lot of vaginal infections, like your thrushes and stuff like that, and I was obviously treating them with the gels and the creams, and I wasn't thinking much of it until he felt it. And so when he felt it, I made an appointment to go see my gynae, and lo and behold, when I went to go see my gynae about 3 or 4 weeks ago, yeah, so I basically found out that I have another cyst, and it's scary because this cyst right now is 3 by 4 centimeters, but my gynecologist decided to try and treat it with medication and manage it with medication before going into surgery again, just because there are not many areas where you can cut to remove these balls. So now I currently have my third cyst in a period of 4 months in the same year, and my gynae has just decided to basically try and manage it by getting me on an oral contraceptive to try and avoid getting any more. And I'm basically going to keep watch of the cyst and go for another checkup again in first week of Jan, find out what's going on, if it's growing or if it's not, and if my symptoms obviously do become worse as I do go on, then obviously we might not have any options but to actually opt for going in for surgery again. But I wish that will not happen. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because I want my channel not only to be a place where I kind of share my life and share what I like and share what I enjoy, but also to be a place and a platform where I can create a space where people will feel welcome and people will feel that they're not alone if they are going through the same experience that I'm going through, and also just to inform you ladies that it is so important to have your annual pap smear, and it is so important to have a pelvic exam and to invest money in going to see a gynecologist, more especially if you are experiencing any of the symptoms that I mentioned. Find out about your family history as well, if cysts are a thing that run in the family, because they can be passed down as well, and no one is immune. Basically from your teenage years, basically from the moment you start your period, you know you can get an ovarian cyst. And obviously there are other areas in your body where you can get cysts, but this is specifically just for ovarian cysts because that's the only thing that I have experience with. That was my story time of how a gynae visit ended up in me going in for emergency surgery. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it was very informative for you. If you do have any questions about the surgery, anything relating to cysts and reproductive things, you can feel free just to leave a comment below, leave your questions below. Please do like and share this video with every single female and male in your life, because it is so important to have a partner that actually understands and knows about these things as well. Because for me, I was lucky that the person that I'm with is so attentive to my anatomy that they could pick up things that were wrong because I had no symptoms. Please do try and live a healthy lifestyle. Go and get your checkups when you have to. By all means, just do the best to take care of your reproductive organs and the girl, the lady, the honey, the sugar downstairs, because it is a very important and vital part. And I know a lot of women, especially the generation before my generation, they are not very open about speaking about these types of things. So I want to be open about it, and I want people to know about it, and I want people to be educated about it, and I want you to know that it is normal and it can happen to anyone that is a female with reproductive organs. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and if you'd like to see more of these types of videos, sit down chit chat videos or vlogs or whatever, please subscribe, switch on the notification bell, do your thing, get that chime, subscribe to my channel, and please share this video. People need to know if they don't know yet, and if you do know, I'm very happy that you do know, because knowledge is key and knowledge is power, and some things are very scary when you don't know what they are, but once you've educated yourself about it, you are at an advantage to basically deal with them better. But that is it, guys, for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you got to the end of this video, you are a trooper, you are the real one, you are the motherfucking boss, you are that bitch, you are that nigga, you are that her. But if you did make it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again on my channel. Bye.
Mama put me on. Mama put me on.